I'm ranking my top 10 overnight hikes, and for number 6, we're finally leaving Utah and heading to Washington. Unlike my other hikes where I highlighted areas you probably haven't heard of before, this time I'm overnighting in perhaps one of the most influencer-heavy hikes of all time, the Three Fingers Lookout. Only my reality didn't quite live up to the socials highlights. Since the cabin only holds 8 people with no reservation system, it's a race to the top, and this race starts the 9-mile bike ride to the trailhead where the hiking begins. Now, most videos I saw about this trail skips the hiking and focuses mostly on the cabin. I found the hike up was one of the coolest hikes I've ever done. You start in what's essentially a rainforest and work your way up into the high alpine zone. The trail itself was quite an adventure, with you having to step over down logs, use logs as bridges, and work your way past mud, obstacles, and overgrown paths just to get out of the tree line. Before you start the ridgeline section of the hike, you find yourself in a nice meadow called Goat Flats. The flats act as an overflow area if the cabin is out of room, and since we saw about 20 e-bikes at the trailhead, we figured we weren't going to stay in the cabin, so we set up camp here, which ended up being a great call. Then we continued on to the cabin. This is sort of the sexy part of the trail, with ropes and scrambles to get to the top. I can imagine how any amount of snow here would make this tough, but it was mostly dry for us and pretty easy going. Then you get to the ladders, and the ladders are fairly sketchy. And after the ladders you get to this slab that you climb up, and then there you are at the door of the famous cabin. Now, as predicted, the cabin was absolutely packed, so we definitely didn't end up staying, which was fine. I want to make a quick note. A lot of people use drones to show how cool this cabin is, but drones are actually illegal here, with the cabin being right in the middle of the Boulder Wilderness. Just keep that in mind because it didn't stop 20 people from flying drones while we were up there, and the constant buzz kinda took you away from the experience. Overall, this hike was pretty amazing, but I ended up falling in love with this place not because of what was on social or the cabin, but because of Goat Flats, because of the bike ride, and everything else that wasn't even mentioned. This is only number 6, so make sure you follow along for the rest.